He's
And
challenging
in
your
Ukraine,
leadership, Mr. President. He's challenging your leadership.
Steve, I got to tell you, if you think that running your economy into the ground and having to send troops in order to prop up your only ally is leadership, then we've got a different definition of leadership.
President Obama being grilled over Vladimir Putin and the administration's policy in Syria. This as the Pentagon announces it's dropping its $500 million program to train the Syrian rebels.
So what does this failed campaign mean for the fight against ISIS? Here now with his reaction is Senior Fellow with the London Center of Policy Research, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Thanks for being with us on Fox and Friends Weekend.
Sure.
Before we get to that, let's talk about when this was put into place to begin with. I mean, was this something like doing something rather than doing nothing? Was this ever a serious effort to begin with?
Doing nothing would have been better than doing this. This makes us look weak and feckless and gives one more thing for Vladimir Putin to poke us in the eye about. I mean, let's be clear on this. Even if it was successful, we're talking about 5,000 troops taking on 65,000 ISIS folks. And let's be clear here. Come on. Moderate Islamic radicals are going to fight for us. The whole thing was flawed to the point of incredulity by the people I actually talked to on the Capitol Hill. And we were trying to tell everybody this is not going to work. And now at this point to have President Obama kind of push back and say, oh, you know, look, Putin is doing the job we should have done a year ago. He's going in and he's doing what is necessary to stabilize Syria. It may not be the way we want it done, but by the fact we failed to do it, by the fact that President Obama apparently, unlike Putin, cannot do multiple tasks. He cannot fix the economy and take on military issues at the same time. And that's what we see here. We see Putin supporting one of his allies, not the only ally, and actually doing more in 2 weeks against ISIS than we did in a year.
Well, you talk about stabilizing Syria. That sounds like it's a positive thing. That's not a positive thing for the United States. I mean, we may commend Putin on his strength as a leader, but it's adverse to American interest, isn't it?
Yes and no. This is where we have to split the hair down the middle. We don't want to see Syria become Libya. Libya, because of our intervention there, has become chaotic. I've talked to senior Egyptian officials, to include their chief of intelligence. We destabilize the whole region by taking out Gaddafi. So this is the challenge. Everybody wants Assad gone. Even the Russians have said they're open to Assad leaving. With that said, what we have here is ungoverned space. Wherever ISIS is at, wherever we leave ungoverned space, that's where terrorists thrive. So we have to do what we can to sustain the infrastructure, the government of Syria, without neglecting the fact that if we don't do that, you'll see terrorists, Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra Front, ISIS all fill that space rapidly and become even a greater threat.
What a hornet's nest. What a mess. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, thanks for joining us this morning.
Sure, thank you.